We respectfully request the Sangha of great virtues, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thù Sư Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Ta Ta Tha Tô Ya Da Ya La Ha Đề Tam Miao Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian Wan jian an zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou chi, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Huineng, Great Master Shenhua, all good monks and nuns and all good new advisors, Amitabha. 诸佛菩萨、六祖、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ, hòa thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và các vị thiện sư thích A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 6th of August 2022. Thank you all for joining us in this explanation of the Sixth Patriarch Sutra. We are currently in Chapter 2, slide 180. Chapter 2 is teaching us about this wisdom from enlightenment. That is, this is the kind of wisdom that you have already, and you don't know how to use it. Okay, you lost track of it because of your incessant revolution and real reincarnation. Every time we have a new body, we get a little bit further away from this great wisdom of ours. So that's why it's like it has so many layers that we can no longer recognize it. We can no longer know how to access it. So the Buddhism is about the way for you to recognize what you have, recognize the treasure in your mind, and know how to use it. Okay, and so Sixth Patriarch is one of the best teachers in Chinese Buddhism, and he's really the foremost teacher on sudden enlightenment, on sudden teaching. Sudden teachings is a kind of teaching that will enable you to straight away reach enlightenment. Easier said than done, but at least the kind of technology is available for everyone, for anyone. And so he's been teaching us about this prajna thing, this prajna Sanskrit word for transcendental wisdom. The kind of wisdom that will free you from any kind of hindrances, any kind of obstructions against your wishes. Okay? And so what's special about his instructions is that he gave us secret recipes on how to reach or rediscover or reconnect with our prajna wisdom. So maybe initially you won't be able to do it, but you should know about it, you should hear about it. Eventually, down the road, in time, it's going to happen to you. This is one of the ancient Buddhist wisdoms, ancient Buddhist secrets. That is, we all eventually will be able to rekindle, to reconnect with our incredible wisdom. Okay, that's a fact. The Buddha, all Buddhas guaranteed it. There's nothing new at all. So don't look down upon yourself. Don't sell yourself short. You are perfectly capable to be the best you can be and be the equal of all Buddhas. And it's because of the blessings you planted in the past and you continue to plant. The more blessings you plant, the quicker you get there. That's all. Okay? So now it's 180, and look at Sutra text. Thank you. All the Buddhas of 3 periods of time and the 12 divisions of Sutra texts as well exist within the nature of people originally complete within them.
三世诸佛12部经在人性中本自具有。
Okay, 181. He says that all Buddhas of the 3 periods of time, 3 periods of time in Buddhism means of the past and the present, of the future. Meaning all Buddhas from the past, all Buddhas who are present right now in the universe, and all Buddhas, all future Buddhas in the universe. Okay? So this refers to the fact all Buddhas at all times, and the 12 division Sutra texts as well. The 12 division of Sutra text refers to all the Buddhist texts. That when the Buddha came to our world and gave us sermons or preached his teachings, and they can be classified into 12 different types of language, phrasing, and that's what they call 12 divisions. Okay, and it says it exists within the nature of people. He says that nature of people refers to you, to me, to all of us. All of us are endowed with this thing called nature, or the short for Buddha nature, meaning that we have it. Believe it or not, this nature here is as vast as the universe. It's no different from the universe. It contains everything in that little thing of a frame of yours. It has its infinite thing that's contained within it. You believe it or not? You see? It's not something that you can understand. And this is why it's called wisdom. You don't have enough wisdom yet to understand. And that's why you need more time to begin to rediscover your true self. Okay? So he says that all the Buddhas in this universe, they exist within our nature. How is it possible? How is it possible? How can all Buddhas, especially for you, intellectual people, rational people, how can Buddhas who have not come Buddhas yet? They all exist in our nature. How can something hasn't come to fruition fruition yet, who has not come to existence yet, they also exist in our nature. Your nature and my nature. Nature of short people, nature of children, nature of tall people, nature of yellow people, nature of white-faced people, pale-faced people. All people, all living beings, they have this nature that contains all Buddhas of the 3 periods of time and all the teachings. So that's why, for example, Master Hsuan Hua, when he was lecturing sutras, he never used any texts like us. Okay? He doesn't have to read the slides or look at the sutras and read from sutras. He would sort of like open his spiritual eye and start like we do here, instead of me reading from the slide here and moving the cursor and the mouse and say, oh, Buddha, 3 periods of time, I have to read it. He would, sort of close his eyes and they started reading off somewhere in space. That's proof right there that he's able to see it. So that's so he can see it within his nature, okay, his Buddha nature. So Buddha nature is replete with everything, okay, and it is accessible through you, through your small frame. The little girl said, is it okay to mention your name right now, honey? She said, you have to ask for my permission next time. You understand permission? Is that okay? Okay, there you go, thank you. Okay, so all the nature refers to the Buddha nature that each and every single living being possesses. Okay, and it says in that nature right there, you have everything. You have the entire universe. You have Buddhas, all teachings as well. So far, so good. And that's why, so the self-nature, these are the little bit of a jargon you should remember, and that's important because this is yours. It's like this is your treasure. Make sure you recognize it, don't throw it away, right? So something that we mentioned, nature, is your Buddha nature, your self-nature. Those are the jargons that tells you about the true treasure that you all possess. We all possess. Okay? It's worth a lot more than a house in San Jose. Okay? All these Buddhas, the 3 periods of time, and all the sutra texts, they exist and originally complete within them. Means nothing lacking at all. We have everything there is. In other words, all the treasures are within you. And when we worldly people, when you get education, we get training, get experience, what do we are learned to do? We learn to look outside. Look at how the external world functions, and we're fascinated by that, fascinated how to build bridge, how to build things, how to acquire things, and so forth. And so what happened is right there is the confirmation to you, the proof to you that we are so brainwashed into looking outside. That's why we forget about our own treasure. Okay, and that's the difference about Buddhism. Buddhism says that the ultimate Buddha's wisdom is that you are just like me, and I exist within you. I'm not different from you at all. All right? 182. If you're unable to enlighten yourself, you should seek out the instruction of a good no advisor who will instruct and lead you to see your nature.
不能自悟，需求善知识，指示方见。
Well, the Chinese pronunciation is a little bit sharper than Taiwanese. I'm noticing it. Beautiful. Okay, so he says, I know you're skeptical. It sounds too good to be true, right? Daniel? Me? Is it me? My nature has everything? How come I'm so poor? Huh? How come I struggle so much? Okay? How come I'm not married yet? Okay? He says, if you're unable to enlighten yourself, meaning he says he addresses all these people, his disciples, he says, I've been teaching all these years. I've been telling you over and over again. And you still are not there. You still cannot see your nature. So he's referring to such people, that includes us. If we are unable to enlighten ourselves, we should seek out the instruction of a good knowing advisor. It says, if you can't see it, you cannot see the nature, you cannot see the sutras in space, you cannot see the sutras inside of your nature, okay? If you cannot access your own enlightenment, your own wisdom, then what you ought to do is you should seek out the instructions of a good knowing advisor. Good knowing advisor, again, is a technical term, another jargon, is someone who is enlightened and who can teach us how to become enlightened. He can show us the way. Okay? So that's what he says. Good knowing advisors in Buddhism are the ones who have enough wisdom to instruct us, give us instructions on how to be just like them, no less. Okay? Remember, when you become enlightened, when you see your nature, we are all the same. You then realize that woman is not different from man, girl is not different from boys. Okay, little girls is the same as adults. Okay, it's no more discrimination, it's no more differentiation, no more differences between you and me, between ethnicities, between height. Some people are short, some people are tall. Okay, it's my fascination. I don't know why the Chinese people who are wiser than I am, they're all shorter than I am for some reason. I don't get it. The people I admire most have incredible wisdom, are all so short and skinny. Okay? They must never eat pizza or anything like that. I understand that little girl doesn't eat tacos. I can see. Yes, you do. Last night, finally? Before, you forgot. Okay. How about churros? Churros? Oh, churros is good. Okay, so you should seek out the instruction of a good knowing advisor. Good knowing advisors, by the way, are the ones who would be gladly share, have the opportunity to share with you how to enlighten yourself. And this is the thing. Why? Because once you're enlightened, you have the wisdom, you know that you're the same as others. That's therefore, why should you hold back? Why should you not help others? If you help others, it's the same as helping you. Okay? So that's why you should have no fear. You say, if you want to become enlightened, you want to open your wisdom, seek out someone who has done it already, and you know what? You'll find out they will gladly share it with you. And they share the instruction, what the instruction will do for you. They will show you, instruct you, and lead you to see your nature. So a teacher, a wise teacher, is not the one who makes promises. It's not the one who tells you stories. It's not the one who would waste your time. It's the one that says, so you want to become enlightened. You want to be the same as all Buddhas. You want to be at your best. Then I will instruct you. I will tell you how to do it. Not only will I instruct you, the Good Noble Advisor is supposed to give you instruction. Instruction meaning do this and do that. It's not theory, folks. And this is a mistake that you make when you meet and see in Good Noble Advisor. You think Good Noble Advisor is going to sit there and argue with you and demonstrate to you that they know more than you, and that you are stupid, you don't understand Buddhism at all. So they would keep on talking endlessly about this sutra and other sutras and the principles and how wonderful their knowledge is, how deep the knowledge is. No, Good Noble Advisors don't do that. That's for professors. That's for people who are not enlightened, who have a lot of time. Remember, enlightened people are busy helping others become enlightened. So they don't have time to waste with you. With me, as a matter of fact, as well. Okay? And so they would not spend time telling you about how much they know about this sutra or the other sutra, how much they know about wine, how much they know about geography, history, and so forth. What they would tell you is what you need to do, what you need to know in order to become enlightened. That's it. Nothing more. It's very specific instructions that are peculiar to you, specific to you only. It's not like, do this and get rich and so forth. Anyone can do that. He says, for you to get rich, what you need to do is buy this cryptocurrency called, okay? And then you hold it for so long, then you switch to the other cryptocurrency because this one will crash and so forth. So they're so detailed, I remember, I don't know you believe it or not. When I first started teaching Chan meditation, I met this guy here who's really not a Buddhist believer, but he's a Vietnamese guy. His teacher specializes in I Ching. I Ching is the Chinese wisdom. They can look at the phenomena in nature, and they can tell you what's going to happen in the future. For example, some of them are so good that there are a bunch of Vietnamese guys sitting together, gabbing away and drinking Vietnamese coffee. Anyone Vietnamese coffee? Okay. So they're drinking coffee, and the guy says, okay, guys, I need to take off. So the guy who's so specialist in I Ching, okay, you might want to remember this. If you find those people who know I Ching, they're incredible. The I Ching specialist, he just says, watch out, don't get into an accident. And the guy, seriously? So he drove up, not thinking much about it, and turned the corner and got in an accident right away. That's I Ching for you. And this is real. They can see, like birds flying through, say, it's going to rain tomorrow. Something like that, okay? That's I Ching wisdom, believe it or not. So the Chinese have such incredible wisdom. By the way, those wisdom, those techniques were invented by bodhisattvas, okay? So that's why the Chinese culture is very, very profound. They have all these special knowledge that were taught by the enlightened people who came to China to help the Chinese people, help the Asians. Okay, and now that the Asians becoming Caucasians, no one knows about them anymore. You see, so it's more like for Asian thing. Yeah. We're born too late. So anyway, so these I Ching here is incredibly precise. So I know of another Vietnamese guy who also is a believer in this guy who practices I Ching as well. And what this Vietnamese guy, he used to be an engineer. You might be interested in this, Chun. He used to be a mechanical engineer in Los Angeles. This is about 20 years ago, okay? Like, he graduated from UC San Diego or something and worked as a mechanical engineer in the area. And then his older brother introduced him to his acquaintance who's a martial arts teacher who specializes in studying the I Ching. And, you know, a martial arts teacher, Xiao Tai, they're not very rich. You know, they don't have a lot of money. All the money is in the dojo and the clothes they wear. You know, they buy. You know, so anyway, so this guy here doesn't have money, but he specializes in I Ching. So he says, you know what? Since you work for Qualcomm, okay, did I pronounce it right? Now, yesterday, you know, Chun showed me this app here in Google app about how to pronounce things properly. And now I'm so self-conscious. Did I pronounce it right, huh? So he says, you have a little money, so let's make a deal, okay? I will show you, okay, the Qualcomm stock prices movement. So this guy here started borrowing money to buy the Qualcomm stocks and then sell at the right time and then wait and then buy them again and then sell more. And he just looked at one stock and just waited until it drops and goes up and down. So what he did is this engineer told my brother, he says, he is so accurate. He says, it will get to $46, and then it goes up to 52. Sell it because it's gonna drop, and it drops. Okay, you wait until it's 27. You buy it because it's gonna start going up. That's how precise he was. Can you imagine? So that kid, mechanical engineer, I met him. He retired at the age of 31 or 32. He's like worth a lot of money. Back then, he's worth like $15 million. That's a lot of houses in San Jose nowadays. How about that? So that the instructions are so precise. The people with wisdom, people who really know, they tell us exactly what to do. There's no ambiguity about it. Ambiguity, am I correct? Never mind. So that's what instructions are. The enlightened people, the instructions say, do this and do that, okay? Do it right now, okay? So, you see, it is so precise. Instructions to get there, and your cultivation is very detailed, very, very precise. There's no ambiguity. And then, furthermore, that's instruction, and lead you. What is leading? Leading means that two things. They know the way. Okay? They know the way. And number two, they encourage you. A leader is a person, is it fair to say as leader is a person who knows how to encourage her people, her followers, her employees, her subordinates? Or no? It's not about arguing. It's not about proving you're right. It's about encouraging, leading them in the right direction. Okay? So this is what a good advisor does. He has detailed knowledge, accurate knowledge on how to do it, and they know how to lead you, encourage you, and guide you to see your nature. Okay? And you might wonder why they want to do this. Okay? If you help someone become enlightened, your blessings are incredible. Okay? you're incredibly rich and have incredible blessings. That's why. Okay? They do it not only for you, but ultimately, first of all, they do it for you, but ultimately, once, but if they do it selflessly, their rewards, their blessings are out of this world. So that's why these people, when they help us, it's really selfless. They have no ulterior motives. Okay? Because like when I look at you, especially Vietnamese people, I come near you and look at me and say, what are you up to? Sound familiar? You know, what are you trying to do? Nothing. Okay? You find out, little girl, when you get older. Okay. 184. Sutra text. If you are one who enlightens himself, you need not seek outside. If you insist that it is necessary to seek a good no advisor in the hope of obtaining liberation, you are mistaken. Why?
若自悟者，不假外求；若一向直，须为他善知识。望得解脱者，无有是处，何以故？
Okay, 185. So the great teacher continues, he says, if you are the one who can figure out how to become enlightened yourself, okay, if you are able to do that, then you need not seek outside. What does not need? No need to seek outside. What does it mean? It means that you don't need to go look for someone's help, anyone else's help. Okay? You can, if you are able to enlighten yourself, then you look inside. You will figure it out by looking inside, not going out there and asking someone else to help you. That is, if you're able to enlighten yourself. All right? On the other hand, if you insist that it is necessary to seek a good no advisor in the hope of attaining liberation, you're mistaken. Why? And furthermore, Master Huineng says, if you insist because you keep on hearing from the Chinese, from the people before you, is that you should look for a good no advisor. That's the Chan wisdom, okay? And that's how you best can hope to attain liberation, to become enlightened. Obtain liberation means you liberate from your mediocrity. You liberate yourself from your own self-imposed suffering. The suffering that you're undergoing right now, you're doing right now, are self-imposed. Did you know that? No one else is making you suffer but yourself. You did it to yourself. You're doing to yourself. Okay? And you don't realize. And what happens, I talked to one of my disciples recently, and she says, you know, it's my partner's fault. You know, she keeps on telling me what her partner does wrong. Okay? So it's always someone else's fault. And she doesn't realize that she's the one who's making herself endure all the suffering. It's no talking to her. Okay? And that's what happened to you people who are too smart, too educated. Okay? You only believe in your own mind. Okay? And you, in particular, you can't even see that you are tormenting yourself. You're creating all this suffering yourself. All the suffering, again, are self-created. Okay? That ego of yours is a real culprit. The ego of yours, the existence of self, is the source of all the suffering in your life. until you wake up to that, you will not be able to attain liberation. So Buddhist pursuits, Buddhist wisdom, Buddhist training is about knowing how to get rid of that ego of ours that is the cause of all our suffering. And the question, a fair question to ask is, once you get rid of your ego, what happens to you? What happens to you? Then you get married and be happy. Right, Daniel? If you put an end to your own ego, you will never suffer again. You only know bliss and peace in your life. People keep on telling me, I keep on hearing about this, is that I would like to have I really appreciate it when I have a moment, one moment of peace during the day. Sounds familiar? The whole day for us is all turmoil. It's so turbulent. It's one worry after another. Excuse me. And the turmoil, the turbulence are created by your egos. You constantly are grabbing this and grabbing that. Okay? You cannot help yourself. You're greedy for this, you're greedy for that. You're upset at this person, upset at the other person, upset at the kid, and so forth. Because they're not the way you expect them to be. Okay? Do you notice that expression? You expect them to be. Who expects them to be? Your ego expects them to be. And what you do, you keep on blaming others for your own misery. When are you going to wake up to that? Okay? And that's your problem. You don't realize that. You don't know how to rein in your ego, to rein in your desires, to rein in your arrogance. Okay? And so that's why you suffer. So liberation is a concept that says there are different types of liberations as you practice the spiritual practice, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Taoism, whether it's Catholicism. As you increase your skills level, concentration level, you naturally will will experience certain different types of liberation. So in Buddhism, it's very precise. When you reach different levels of concentration, each level is associated with a degree of liberation. Until you reach the highest level of samadhi, that's when you are totally free. You attain total liberation. You'll never suffer again. Even though when your wife yells at you. Not funny. Oh, well, it's possible. Okay, so it says, if you think it necessary to seek a good advisor, as you remember, it says, he said, go look for a good advisor. But it says now, if he insists it's necessary look for a good advisor in order to attain liberation, to free yourself and put an end to all your suffering, you're mistaken. Why? 186. Within your own mind, there is self-enlightenment, which is a knowing advisor.
自心内有知识，自悟。
Okay. Why are you not supposed to seek a good advisor? Because he says, within your mind, right now, the mind you have right now, nowhere else. Okay? Not in mine, not in hers. It's your mind now. Okay? There is self-enlightenment. That mind of yours contains a enlightenment. Okay? This mind of yours can enlighten yourself, which is a knowing advisor, meaning it knows how to enlighten itself. Go ahead. It says, I don't believe. Anyone has any problems with this? Yes, yellow.
A Di Đà Phật. Dạ thưa thầy, mỗi một con người đều có một cái gọi là lương tâm. Khi mình làm một cái điều gì sai quấy thì người đời nó gọi là lương tâm cắn rứt, là tự mình thấy đau khổ, tự mình thấy hối hận. Thì nếu một người mà sống trọn vẹn với lương tâm của mình như vậy thì có thể từ từ đi đến giác ngộ được hay không?
Amitabha Master. So everybody in each of ourselves all have something called the conscious mind. And when that conscious mind, when we do something wrong, that conscious mind will be, we will feel ashamed and we will feel regret. So if a person who live fully, completely within their own conscious mind, does it mean that they can become enlightened?
It's possible, but very unlikely. Most likely, a person who lives with a guilty conscience will end up being depressed. Okay? So enlightenment is a lot more than just guilty conscience. Okay? But having a guilty conscience is definitely very helpful towards becoming enlightened. Okay? And so what he's talking about here, what Master Huineng is talking about here, is that when you become enlightened, the moment you become enlightened, when you become enlightened, how does it happen? How? Yeah. Microphone, no color.
You listen to your inner good know advisor.
You listen your inner enlightened thing. Very creative. How you listen your inner enlightened nature. Clearly this person doesn't know what she's talking about. Because, when you say something, you have to say it emphatically. You say, you listen to your own nature. You say,
You recognize it and then you follow it.
You recognize it and then what?
And follows it. And follow it.
And
Follow it.
try to Google. Okay, follow it. Okay. So you listen your enlightened mind, you follow it. Are you sure? It doesn't quite work like that. Okay. Yeah. Who recognizes your enlightenment? Who recognizes it? Who sees his own nature, her own nature? What happened at that moment? Well, I have all day. I have nowhere else to go. Go ahead, Way Mountain. The Korean got up on this early, and they said, I don't know, man, I'm so sleepy. Can you just speed it up a little? We're trying to stay awake here. Yeah, Way Mountain, go ahead. 4 o'clock on Sunday morning
Master.
in the Listener Sutra lectures. Koreans are weird. Yeah?
Master, I don't know what happens because I'm not enlightened, but I've heard you say that when someone becomes enlightened, there's an earthquake, but no one gets hurt by the earthquake.
An earthquake that hurts no one? Well, that's what I heard too. That's all I did is regurgitated that. Anything else? Okay. Suffices to tell you this. Okay. When is your turn to become enlightened? This is what's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, please don't sue me. Okay. It's just a free offering, okay? Like Google, yeah, hey, I could be wrong too. When you become enlightened, how do you see your nature? Your self-nature sees itself. It's that simple. Who else can see it, right? It's no one else. It's not like one of them say, hey, I can see your self-nature. No, at that very moment you become enlightened, your self-nature sees itself. Am I making sense to you? Who else is going to see it for you? Some kind of short Asian guy? Huh? Of course not. You have to see it yourself. So at that moment, here's what happened. At that very moment, you become enlightened. And the technical jargon means at the moment you see your nature, what it really is talking about, your self, your own self-nature sees itself. Okay? That's all it means. It sees itself. And what does it mean when you see itself? When your self-nature sees itself. What does it mean? Oh God, you don't know anything, do you? Oh, how can you live like this? Huh? Yes, sir. What happens when it says the self-nature sees itself? Yes. Azure.
A Di Đà Phật. Con có áp dụng rồi, con thấy cũng không có khó mà không có dễ. Tức là áp dụng cái bài học Ngài Huệ Năng dạy Ngài Huệ Minh á. Ông thấy cái gì mà thầy giao y bác cho ông vậy? Thì Ngài Huệ Năng nói bình tâm lại nè, nghe nè. Lúc mà ông chưa nghĩ thiện, chưa nghĩ ác đó, ông không nghĩ thiện, không nghĩ ác, cái tâm ông trống lỏng lúc đó đó, tôi thấy được cái đó mà tôi nhận y bác đó. Thì Ngài Huệ Minh mới hỏi còn bí mật nào nữa không? Thì Ngài Huệ Năng nói bí mật nó nằm phía ông á, ông nhìn trong ông không biết chứ nó đâu ở đâu. Thì quý vị tự nghĩ là coi lúc mà mình chưa kịp thấy một cái gì đó, mình chưa có khởi lên thiện khởi ác, thì cái thấy nó vẫn còn đó, nó trong đầu quý vị, Ngài Huệ Năng nói bí mật nằm phía ông á. Rồi khi nào lúc nào mình cũng được cái đó thường xuyên, thì người thiện tri thức sẽ xác nhận ông được rồi đó. Còn mình thấy mà mình vừa khởi lên chút xíu là mình lại khởi lên thương ghét phân biệt, thì mình chưa có hoàn toàn, mình giống như người nói là gió dừng mà niệm còn xăm, tức là vẫn thấy nhưng cũng còn cái tập khí cũ. Thì tập đến khi nào mà người thiện tri thức thấy nó được rồi đó, thì ok. Tôi xin hết.
Amitabha Master. So I have been applying this. To me, I feel that it is not hard, it is not easy. Just like Venerable Hui Neng taught Venerable Hui Ming, is this Bình Tâm, I don't know how to translate that. Ping Xing, at that moment, there's no
With the
evil.
mind of non-discriminating.
The mind of non-discrimination. At that moment, there's no thought of evil, no thought of goodness. So right at that time, it is your own original mind. And Venerable Hui Ming asked Venerable Hui Neng again, is there any other secret? And Venerable Hui Neng say, no, the secret lies within you. So if you practice to the point that you can sustain the thought of no evil and no goodness for a long time, then your good knowing advisor will certify you as becoming enlightened. And if you still have this mind of good and evil, it's just like the banner that flow within the wind. And this is how I perceive it.
Okay, very good. Let me explain the process for you so that it removes a little bit of the mystery from all this Chinese talk about enlightenment and so forth, or the Caucasians or Westerners talk about enlightenment, and will help you understand what is plausible, what's not. Okay, the Westerners, you talk to a lot of people, or not just the Westerners, also a lot of quack Asians who says, I'm enlightened. Okay, especially a lot of monks and nuns who says, I'm enlightened. I've seen enlightenment. I know about enlightenment. Okay, and they don't know what they're talking about because that's not how it works. Okay, the way it works is that for you to become enlightened, look at the history of how Master Hui Neng became enlightened, Master Hsien Hoa became enlightened, all the people before them became enlightened. Buddhas, how Buddhas became enlightened. What are the requirements? There's one requirement. What is it? What is that one requirement? That's a one common denominator to all of them. Oh, now the Vietnamese are excited. Yes, the yellow.
Dạ, theo con á, thì cái yêu cầu duy nhất đó là buông bỏ, không có còn phân biệt nữa.
Amitabha Master, to me, there's the only requirement that happened at that time is you let go. There's no such discrimination.
Okay, old monk. What do they all do?
At that moment, no thought arise. Không có một cái tư tưởng nào khởi lên hết.
Thought arises, very good. Huệ Mong. No, Huệ Mong backed out. Anyone else? Koreans, would you like to join the party? Are you too sleepy? I thought I helped you wake up and say, hey, what happens? What is the same common denominator that you Koreans also must do to experience that moment? Go ahead, short Vietnamese.
Amitabha Master, I think one condition is that look in yourself, not outside.
Look yourself, not outside. Very good. Anyone else? Koreans, we were waiting for some kimchi input. Yeah? Come on, Koreans. Master Z, represent all Koreans. Don't let them down now. Don't let your people down. Yeah? What happens? As a common denominator, they, one word. Only one word, not one phrase, not one sentence. One word. They is a verb. They sleep? No. Look at the yeah. Yeah? What do they do? CNN, what did they do? Huh? What do they do? They? Oh my God, you forgot already? We told you so many stories.
망상이 없습니다.
Stop thinking. Very good. They, I want one word, not stop thinking, that's two. Huh? I told you, I gave you a clue already. One word, not two. Huh? They?
망상이 없습니다.
No false thinking.
No false thinking. No false thinking. That's three words. Okay, who else? One word. China girl. Huh? Listen?
Yeah.
How do you listen? We're looking at looking. How do you go from listening to looking? Okay, orange.
Drop.
They drop the ball, okay. They, come on, one word, one verb. At the requirements for any of us to become enlightened or a Buddha, what do you need to do? Very good, but wrong. Look at how excited he is. I know, ooh. Yes, back there. What do they do? No self, that's two.
Faith, Master.
Huh?
Faith.
They pay? Oh yeah, that's right. Huh? What? Faith is not a word. What is the matter with you? Faith is a noun. Amigo, you can't do that. Okay, what do they do? They
Stopped.
stop in the name of love. You guys are too much. It's so obvious. When are you gonna know? When are you gonna wake up to the thing we've been repeating for you over and over and over again? Every single master, every single year, I've been talking to you. You keep on hearing that, and like virtually every month. Yeah, I've been beating into your brains. And what is the matter with you? Master Z, have you figured it out? Koreans, yeah. Forget about Koreans, yeah. Yeah? Orange.
Accept.
Accept cryptocurrencies. God, what is... Huh? They cultivate, which you don't do. Anyone else?
삼매들.
Huh? Korea. Okay, Korea.
삼매에 듭니다.
That's three words.
They are in samadhi.
Enter samadhi. Excellent. Enter samadhi is two words. What is... The Koreans they can't even count now. Wang Ho.
But I think unmoving.
Unmoving. What I'm getting at, okay, I'm sorry it's not clear to you. Look at how did Shakyamuni Buddha become a Buddha? What was he doing? Yes?
Meditate.
What?
Meditate.
Imagitate. That's a new word. Don't help her. Very good. In order for you to open your wisdom, you must meditate. Isn't that wonderful? That's what we've been teaching you. You do ceremony. You call it chanting, we call it. Actually, it's a form of meditation. You see that? Meditate, okay? So this is key. This is why in Buddhism we put so much emphasis on teaching you about meditation, how to meditate. Because ultimately, when you get there, at the moment you become a Buddha, you have to meditate. Okay? And then you have no thought, you drop, you stop, and so forth. But that is a state of meditation. Is it clear? You have to meditate. This is why you meditate, and one day you say, boom! At that very moment, what happens? Your self-nature recognizes itself. Say, oh wow, that's my self-nature. And how do you see it? Because your self-nature sees itself. You know that? At that moment, what happens? Why is that moment very important? This is so critical. And I don't know why the Chinese or Koreans didn't teach their disciples. Huh? You see, you're so excited. See, I'm so excited. He's so excited too. Guess what happens? Okay? What happens is that you meditate. That moment, your self-nature says, wow, hey, that's mine. That's my self-nature right there. So that very moment, because of your meditation, your self-nature sees itself. And what it means is that because of meditation, you have the technique on how to activate your self-nature to see. So it's not something haphazard at all. The Buddha, when he became a Buddha, he sat on the Bodhi tree for 49 days, right? He says, if I don't become a Buddha, I will never get up from this, from my meditation. Will never get out of here, okay? So after 49 days, he was meditating, all of a sudden, he saw something. A light, a star flying by, okay, in the sky, okay, and boom. At that moment there, his self-nature saw itself. He said, oh, that's it. And because of that, okay, he remembers how to do it. Whereas now, you do it. Occasionally, you do it. Like Vietnamese says, cho ngáp phải rồi. Okay? Meaning that, Vietnamese has a very, very expression that cho ngáp phải rồi, meaning a dog catches a fly by chance. He was yawning, and then he's yawning, and then whoop, and then catches a fly. So that'll happen, he'll never be able to do it again. You see, that's what it means. It's a haphazard thing. And whereas in Buddhism, we train you day in, day out, help you, and cajole you, and encourage you, and threaten you, and beat you up, and insult you, and praise you, and all those things are called leading. We talked about earlier. Remember? He says, we'll instruct and lead you. All that's called leadership. You understand? Sometimes you yell at them, sometimes you smile at them, sometimes you have to cry, sometimes you have to give up, sometimes whatever. All those are called leading. And it get you going, and then some point in time, boom, you see it, and say, wow, I know how to do it now. And that's why it's so important. That's why this meditation things here, you don't understand, you don't realize what we are doing is we are leading you to develop the skills for you to do it consistently. Not like, chó ngáp phải rồi. You know, you have to remember this expression, Vietnamese expression. The dog that catches the fly through yawning. Got that? Koreans, did your Sunims teach you that? That's what happens. This is why you have to come to the temple. That's why you have to meditate every day, because you're developing the skills to do it consistently. Understand now? It's a skill. It's not something haphazard, something by chance. It's a skill that you need to develop the ability to do consistently. Okay? Right now, you're able to occasionally do that, but you don't realize it's you. Whereas, because through meditation training, you go through this training process, you meditate, and then say, wow, it happens, and oh, that's how I did it. So the moment you see in nature, that moment there, you recognize it, oh wow, that's me. I did it. Whereas now, when you use your nature and you see, part of your nature and you see a partial picture, you have no clue what it is. You cannot tell the difference. Is that clear? It's not you cannot do it right now. You can do it too, but you cannot do it consistently, and you cannot do it at will. After that moment when you see your nature, you're able to do it consistently. So, meaning that when you need to liberate yourself and rise above suffering, boom, you can do it at will. Whereas right now you say, I don't know why I'm crying, I don't know why I'm suffering so much. If you have that skill, you say, what's suffering? Instantaneously, you're free. You rise above it, all this suffering, all this nonsense. Instantaneously. What happened to the applause sign? Wait a minute, this is like one person? This is a state secret. Okay, Jumi, you go back to sleep. Look at that woman, the poor woman. Oh my God, I'm so sleepy. Can I go back to bed, please? Okay. All right. Oh God, yeah, it's just like trying to explain to you. This is so hard. I'm so tired now. Look at all your, really? Stop. No thought. After all these years, I've been doing it for 16 years, and this is all you got? Okay, next. Shall we continue or shall we stop? I'm tired. If you are one who enlightens himself, you need not seek outside. Oh, why am I still here? Okay, next. Next. Who been moving my slides? Within your own mind, there's self-enlightenment, which is no advisor. Okay, remember, this is why I explained to you that very moment when you meditate, when you see your nature, that's what he's referring to. Is it clear? When you get there, you know that very moment. That's why at that very moment, you know these people who are enlightened, they know. What happened is the people below that level, they are not enlightened, but they falsely think. And that's why it's very dangerous. I met too many people who are mistakenly in the belief that they are enlightened. They haven't seen your nature yet. Okay? You can tell immediately from their comportment. Yes?
Master, is the definition of meditation here beyond just sitting? Since I think in some of the stories...
Meditation is to learn how to concentrate. What we teach you meditation, we start by teaching you to cross your legs, sitting meditation, but eventually you understand that meditation is 24 hours a day. You can do it anytime. You don't need to cross your legs anymore. Okay? But crossing your legs is the quickest way to develop your meditation skills. So you cannot say that I don't need to cross my legs because it's not necessary. It's not true. It's necessary for you. You have to have the skills to cross your legs first. Okay? 188. But if you give rise to deviant confusion, false thoughts, and perversions, although a good no advisor external to you instructs you, he cannot save you.
若起邪迷妄念颠倒，外善之时，虽有教授，救不可得。
Okay, now he's giving us a caution, a warning. He says, you may have a good no advisor, but here's the danger. You have to be careful. And this is what happened to Xiao Tai is here. Cover his ears up. Happens to, the word begins with an L. Lion, there you go. Very good. It's the L word. Okay, here's what happens. You may have a great teacher like Master Hsuan or Master Hui Neng, okay? But if you give rise to deviant confusion, false thought, and perversions, what are they? These are very important words of warning to caution you, because these are the aspects that will lead you astray. And it doesn't matter who you learn from, where you are, who you are, how far you got, okay? You will get in trouble. Okay? If you still harbor, give rise to means harbor. You still have it in your heart, in your mind. You still believe these things. Okay? That's how they give rise. They give rise meaning it comes from you. You believe it. You believe it. What do you believe? You have deviant beliefs. You have false thoughts. You have perversions. Okay? Deviant, meaning that you don't believe in cause and effect. Okay? People who do not believe in cause and effect, they will get in trouble eventually. They cannot become enlightened. Cannot. It's hopeless. Okay? Confusion. Confusion is that your mind is dark. You cannot recognize things as they are. You mistaken about things. Perversion perversion meaning that there are different perversions. Perversions meaning that, by definition, perversions are you are in contradiction to the principles, the proper principles. Okay, what are the proper principles? There are four of them. Number one, okay, this body is impure. Don't be so attached to this body of yours. You're so attached to your body, it's upside down view. Know anyone who has upside down views? All of you. Attachment to the body. Okay. Number two, feelings. Your feelings, you cherish your feelings. Okay, you think feelings are cool. For example, you seek feelings of pleasure. You seek feelings of pain for some people. Okay, so Jumi, you seek pleasure or you seek pain? She's sleeping. Do you seek pain or you seek pleasure?
엘러 마스터, 제가 안 그래도 제가 무엇에 집착을 하고 있나를 봤더니 제가 좀 편안하고 일이 없는 것에 대해서 편안하고 일이 없는 것을 추구하고 그것에 집착하는 것 같습니다.
I thought about what I'm attached to, and I found out that I am attached to the comfort, and nothing happened.
Okay, so she's attached to pleasure. Okay, therefore she is upside down. Okay, very good. Anyone attached to pain in Korea? No one in Korea is attached to pain. They would never admit it. How about us Americans? Any one of you attached to pain? Xiao Tai attached to pain? Seriously? Okay, so that's what it is. Feelings. You attach to feelings, and that's you seek feelings of pleasure. You seek feelings of pain, and that's upside down. Number three, you think that your mind is permanent. Meaning, for example, you say, I love my husband and will be forever. It's so untrue. Yes? No? Okay. So the mind is impermanent, and yet you think that the mind it will be forever. Okay? And finally, there's no self. Dharma has no self, meaning everything has no self whatsoever. Everything has no self. Everything is empty. Okay, so if you can't violate those four things, then you are considered upside down. All right? False thoughts. The false thoughts are the thinking that arise when you meditate, for example. You're meditating, you recite the Buddha's name, all of a sudden one other thought arises. That's called a false thought. Okay? So the caveat, the warning here is that if you give rise to deviancy, false belief, confusion, you're confused by marks, by external things, you have false thinking, okay, and you have perversions, okay, and then here's what happens. If you do that, you still have that. Although there's good no advisor outside of you who instructs you, he cannot save you. Is that clear? The good no advisor may have wisdom, may be a Buddha, but if you insist on harboring deviancy, confused about external things, you cherish thinking, and you are confused about principles, then no one can save you, no matter how wise and smart they are. No matter how hard they try, they cannot save you. And this is a fallacy of spiritual cultivation. People, they cultivate. They recite the Buddha's name for 20, 30 years, okay, for lifetime after lifetime. What they fail to do is to get rid of deviancy, get rid of confusion, get rid of false thinking, get rid of perversion. That's why they will never become enlightened. You can meditate all you want, but you don't get rid of these things, you will never be able to do it. You may have the greatest teacher, but you eventually will fall off by the wayside. That's it. And that's why what I've been watching for the last 16 years, so many of these people, okay? Give an example. First newcomers, they first come and they are deviant. They said, I don't believe in cause and effect. I believe in the power of money. I believe in the fact that this life, once this life is over, it doesn't matter. Everything returns to dust. Okay? All those are deviant beliefs. Such people who came, they are gone very, very quickly. All right? Be careful. And then furthermore, there are a lot of people who came to our temple who practiced for years, but deep down they harbor these beliefs. Okay? They are looking for example, spiritual penetration. They say, oh my God, I can see this, I can see that. Okay? I love to see it. I love to see this. I'd love to be able to do that. Okay? And they're confused about the fact that all those things are never the goals of meditation. And therefore, they get excited because with meditation, they're able to do it better, to see more things, you see it more frequently, okay? And they believe more and more themselves. It's called confusion. The more they improve, the more they can see, and the more they really think that they are so special. Okay? So they came with these beliefs that they learn all these things so that they become even more special than before. So the ego becomes bigger. And that's confusion. Go ahead, JMT.
people are depressed, are they looking for pain? Pain?
Repeat the question.
When people are depressed, are they looking for pain?
When they're depressed, are they looking for pain?
Attached to pain.
Are they attached to pain? I don't know. I'm never depressed. Anyone who's depressed, help me out, please. When you're depressed, what happens? Huh? You. When you're depressed, are you looking for pain? Are you depressed? Before? You were depressed before. Once depressed, always depressed. Don't think you're free from it. It'll come back. Like alcoholism, like drug addiction. It'll come back. Okay? Are they looking for pain? Are you looking for pain when you're depressed? She says no. What about the rest of you? No. 2 no's. Daniel, you depressed too? No. No or yes? I cannot tell. Your movement now is so subtle.
There is, I think there's some attachment to
Attachment to pain?
to the feeling of getting depressed.
You're weird. Anyway, anyone else? Huh? Wei Mountain. What happens when you're depressed? Are you attached to pain?
Oh, thank you, Master. I thought he said, are you attached to a pen? Because when I've been depressed, I find a pen is very helpful. It helps me write things down and kind of get them out of my head. You know, if I can't find a pen, then
Okay,
I get more depressed.
let's not muddy up the water, okay? You're not helping. Okay, anyone else? Wei Mountain, go ahead. Good Lord. Go.
I think depressed people are not attached to pain. They just want to get the pain over. So attachment to pain is you feel pleasure about feeling pain.
Come on, man. Come on, Daniel. Assert yourself. Don't be so Catholic. Don't say I. Don't start with I think. No, just say no. They don't. No, they aren't. Okay, come on. Be a macho man. Yeah. Are you attached to pain when you're depressed?
I actually experienced depression last year. So
No.
Not attached, but suffered from depression.
Suffer from depression.
I guess the reason was I was so obsessed with get rid of the feeling of being depressed.
Right.
And the process of trying to push it away make me actually more depressed.
More depressed,
So
yes.
that's my personal experience.
But you're not attached to pain.
No, I guess I'm attached to get rid of pain.
Right.
Maybe
Okay, that's more sense. Not like, depends. What is that? Huh? Okay. No. Depressed people are not attached to pain in general. Of course, there are always exceptions, okay, in Korea, okay. There will be exceptions. But in America, most people who are depressed, they're not attached to pain at all. Actually, they're in pain. They don't like it. They hate it. But they cannot do anything about it. They don't know what to do about it. Sounds familiar? Okay? Remember when you were depressed and you were in such great pain and you feel so in pain and you just don't know what to do to snap out of it. So they're not attached at all. They just are totally under the spell, the victims of the state of depression. This is why I'm reminding you, if you know you have severe depression, you better go get help, because you won't be able to handle it. That's a typical case where when you are in a state of depression you will find reason for you not to do anything and so forth. And you have to pre-program yourself that before you get depressed, that you need to go seek help because it's way beyond you. I'll give you an example, and I'm sorry I'll bring it out right now, okay? You know, I've been trying to fix the temple in San Francisco. We do remodeling, okay? Finalizing the little things here and there. And it's a lot of things, a lot of things to take care of, small things. And it turns out I have a group of very dedicated people who are trying to help. And one of them is Master Hsien Che. Master Hsien Che is really among them a few who are very, very key to the efforts. Okay, they all took pieces of the work and they are working together to make it happen. And we really appreciate that. What happened with Master Hsien Che in particular is that he has severe depression his entire life. Okay, debilitating depression, and it was very bad before he became a monk. Okay, and it's getting better and better nowadays. Okay, however, I declared some time ago he's a 4th-stage Arhat. Okay, meaning he's way up there in terms of kung fu, but every time he under severe depression, he's totally not himself. You can tell right away. One look at him, I didn't say anything. One look at him, oh boy, you're depressed again. Okay, and that's what happens because of the importance of the kind of work we do in San Francisco. They will come and try to stop us, slow us down. And because if your work is important, if you're doing something important towards that effort, they will come and attack you as well because they cannot attack me. Because what happened is that I noticed that these people, either they get injured themselves or they become depressed, they become manic, and so forth. And that's how they stop me, okay? They slow me down, okay? So that is to tell you two things. Number one, even 4th-stage Arhats are helpless against depression. If you're not in 4th-stage Arhat, you really have no chance at all. Okay? And the other thing is that when you are in that state, okay, you need help. And so, I mean, watching that, and I decided to give the order, it's okay to lift them up. Immediately, yesterday, I decided to do that. Master Hsien Che came to go for us, a changed man. Did you notice? I wanted to let you know that depression can be helped, okay? And you need to seek help because even for very strong people, very highly skilled people, have some real kung fu, like 4th-stage Arhats, they still are helpless against depression. It's a very serious issue, and it's not something that the medical profession should take lightly, but they do because they don't know what to do with it. Prescribing medication, counseling is not going to help because you're fighting an invisible enemy. A ghost is so powerful, they pull your strings and they create confusions in your mind. There's nothing you can do. That's the truth. Yes?
Thank you, Master. I have a quick question. The depression is contagious?
Yes.
I heard a lot of people say that, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Yes. You spend a lot of time near, you are near depressed people, like you're married to a depressed person. You end up most likely getting depressed yourself because it's the ghosts, and it goes from this person to the next very easily.
So my next question is, what can you do to prevent the contagious?
You get help. You know, the reason I bring it up in Buddhism, every time I bring up a problem is because we have a solution. We're not merchants of doom. We're not telling you those things in order to make you more depressed. We all tell you these problems because there's solutions for it. It's not easy, but it's the only thing that works right now, that it's far better than meds, than medication, than therapy and counseling, because you're dealing with invisible beings, the so-called the yin beings, the ghosts and the demons. Therefore, you must know a way, develop a way to deal with them. Okay? As you get higher levels of samadhi, of wisdom, then it's a lot more manageable, a lot like become negligible. But at low levels, it's debilitating. You cannot function. You are not yourself. There's nothing you can do. That's why you need to get help. And I brought up Master Hsien Chie's example is to tell you that even with very experienced and skilled people, they still need help. That's how serious it is, how difficult it is. Okay? And so, going back to slide 180, in our temples, I've seen all sorts of people. Remember I said the newcomers who come with a bad attitude, okay, thinking they know it all, they're special, the lawyers, doctors, and so forth. They say, I know everything, I'm successful, okay, and therefore they leave very quickly. They cannot last because they are not seeking wisdom. They're seeking to reinforce their ego. Such people don't last very long around us. Okay? And there's some people who last a lot longer, years and so forth, but they harbor these deviant thoughts, they confuse thoughts about the process. And as recently, there's some people who I declare they have some, arhatship range and so forth, and they're able to see this and see that and so forth, and they still fall off by the wayside because of their deviant confusion. They harbor these, they cherish these false beliefs that are not Buddhists. Okay? And therefore, they have to leave, ultimately. Okay? Because they're ghosts. Pull them out before they can no longer control them. And before they leave, they say, oh, Master's probably possessed by a ghost. It's the ghost who told them to say so. And they're very proud of it. They say, oh, have you seen the 50 skanda demons? Read it. Master's got one of those 50 skanda demons. It's not the first time. Even Master Hsuan Hua's glorious monks also said the same thing about me. And guess what? They're the one who are possessed by the skanda demons. Okay? So if you have all these things, be careful. If you insist on these things. You say, oh, Master, I believe in Buddhism. I want to be your sponsor and so forth, so forth. I really believe in you. Please teach me 429 has a nice. Give me a lot of mantras that I can, I can help you in the future. Okay? And then they say, I'm going to be a big shot. I'm going to be, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be glorious and open my spiritual penetration and so forth because I'm better than him already. Okay? They fall off eventually. Okay? This is what happens. 180, 190. Although there's a good no advisor next to you who's trying to teach you, he cannot save you. You doing it to yourself. You know such people? Those are the ones who left and the ones who are leaving. Because they secretly harbor deviancy, confusion, false thinking, and perversions, and they put on a facade. You cannot fool yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot. That's all. So watch out. You see these people, that's why we keep on insisting to you. We do chant meditation. Do not look for spiritual penetrations. All this is to reduce your ego, not make your ego bigger. Okay? You watch those people, the L people, shall we call L people from now on? Okay? Those L people, this is what describes them. This is their downfall. And you don't need to do anything. There are plenty of people like that. Just watch them. You don't believe me? Watch them. If it fit this description, they will fall off. Questions? Comments? Yes.
Master, you said that we all fall into the category of having upside down views, right? So, what you just said about, does that include everybody who can be categorized?
Of course, you will have deviancy. Of course, you have some confusion. You have false thought. You have perversions. Of course, we all do. Okay? But the difference is that such L people, they cherish it and they say, I don't buy what Master says. Master says, don't be so attached to your visions, don't feel so attached to your knowledge, and especially don't be so attached to your ego there. They say, yeah, Master is, I disagree. That's what happened. And they disguise it. Okay? They say, oh, yes, Master, yes, you're right. But deep down inside, they said, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. And they shoot themselves in the foot. It's not about me knowing. Whether I know or not, doesn't matter. This is about you. If you harbor deviancy, harbor confusion, false thoughts, perversions, and that made you disagree big time with my instructions, you will get in trouble. Is that clear? Okay, not just this general. Of course, we all make mistakes, but these people really believe that they're right, that I'm wrong, and they find excuses, they find proofs. That's called deviancy. It's called confusion. It's called perversions. They really believe in those things. And guess what? Their ego is so big that they fabricate plenty of reasons, excuses inside this sutra and that sutra, 50 skanda demons and so forth. This is what especially my master's disciples like to do. When I was a novice over there, and they claim already among the monks that I was possessed by the demon. Therefore, decided 50 skanda demon and say, this guy is possessed by a demon. Okay, and that's how they get rid of me, try to get rid of me. And because of that, such people who try those things are actually possessed by the demons. I don't need to do anything to retaliate. They're possessed by demons, by their own doing. What do we care? And that's dangerous. So to summarize for you, if you're not enlightened yet, and you insist on your ways, okay, you fall into this group. You insist that you are right. And it cannot be explained to you because you are, remember, stupid. You don't understand. You don't realize your deviant beliefs. You're confused. You have perversions. You don't even realize it. Go ahead, Wait Mountain.
Thank you, Master. Does depression increase your ego? Because since everyone has an ego, or is it a different thing?
Yes and no. It depends. But depression is caused by the ghost taking over and playing this program in your head. It says, I feel bad, I feel bad, I feel bad, I feel bad. I don't feel like doing anything. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And that's depression. That's a program, like a computer program. Keeps on playing that same thing. Whatever it does, it ends with, I don't want to do this. Whatever it is, I don't want to do it. Whatever it is, I don't want to get up. I don't want to dress. I don't want to take a shower. I don't want to eat. I don't want to sleep. Whatever, okay? I don't want to, I don't want to. That's depression. Because I don't want to means that I want to continue to feel this bad. But I want to continue to feel this bad is not even detected by depressed people. They're not aware of it. That's why they need help. Yes.
Master, that's why I was saying there's some attachment. That's what you were saying about I don't want to stop feeling bad, right?
No, it's the program that's loaded onto by the ghost in your brains. It's not you. It could be as simple as, get the heck out of there, and the ghost is gone. If you do that, though, there's a problem. Where does it go? Most likely your mother. You want that? That's why it's delicate. You cannot brute force it. You too.
From Vicky, Master, how do we check ourselves to see our false thoughts and thoughts of disagreements?
You can't. This is why. Remember, you are stupid. There's no way to explain to you. I don't know how else to put it. Explain to you, you don't get it. That's called stupidity. It's stupidity because no matter how hard we try, you don't get it. Because you're stupid. Okay, if you're stupid already, stupid people think they know more than a good no advisor. Then it's time for them to leave. People who are stupid don't deserve to stay. Way Mountain.
Master, does our Way Mountain Daniel have a depressing goals? If it does, what is this depressing goals doing to Daniel, or what Daniel is doing reflecting that presence?
I don't know. It's a Catholic thing. We're Buddhists. Why do we need to worry about the Catholic stuff? There's a problem, and I know you think I'm joking, but here's what happens to me. You come to me and you say, Master, I'm depressed, I need help. I say, okay, do this. You say, but can I do something else? I don't like it, can I do something else? And that's a problem with you. If I try to help you and tell you to do something and you don't, why should I continue to help you? You're helpless. You need my help. You ask for my help. I try to help you and you say, oh, can you give me something else I like? If I give you something you like, that is not true help. The help usually is to do something that you don't like. So Daniel's problem is that, to be blunt with you, Daniel's problem is that, yes, I like this about this guy, I like this about this temple, I like the fact they respect me, I like the fact they never pressure me, I like the fact they joke with me around and so forth, but I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't believe this, I don't believe that. So it's like you pick from a menu, I like this, I like that, I like this, I like that. And that's not how we cultivate. The cultivation is you need to take things that both you like and the ones you don't like. You have no choice. If you pick and choose, you won't make it. That's the difference. So Daniel says, oh, I really like, the things that talk about how great I am. I have the same Buddha nature as the Buddhas and so forth. But I go back to my God when I feel uncomfortable. And that's his problem. That's where his ghosts hide. In the areas where he disagrees. That's why they all gather, they build headquarters over there. So as soon as he's uncomfortable, he retreats back to his, let's say, Catholic areas, Catholic headquarters, and that's where the ghosts are. And that's off limits to us. Remember, we will never try to convert a Catholic. Way Mountain.
Thank you, Master. So people who are suffering depression, what would you give them your first instruction?
What's the question again?
For people who are suffering depression, what would be your first instruction to give them? How to start?
It depends on who it is, on their samadhi level, on a lot of factors. Each person's different. No one solution for everything. You know, when you go to see a therapist, they give you, what is it, Prozac or whatever medicine. There's limited number of medication they will prescribe to you. For us, we have unlimited number of tools to use. So each person's different. It's not the same thing. So each individual has different dosages, different medication, different approaches depending on the time of day, the time of the year, and so forth and so forth. It's no hard and fast rule to deal with depression because each time, each case is different. Sometimes we let them, just like I gave you the example of Master Hsien, I let him suffer for a while, okay? Sometimes a long, long time. And that's part of the treatment. Because like most Westerners, they fool themselves. They think they know, they think they understand. They think they know everything. That's why they need to suffer, and they need to exhaust all the resources until they realize that they're helpless. They truly are helpless. Then they believe, then they listen. Same thing with Daniel. Daniel says, hey, I have my Catholic, I have my God here, I come back to my God. When I'm uncomfortable, go back to your God. And I ask him to help with your depression and see what happens. Don't come to me and pick and choose. When I tell you to do something, do it. You don't do it, I will not tell you anymore. I have no time to waste. Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I'm feeling depressed because I lost my job and I'm continuing to look for a job. Do you have any instruction for me?
Why you have to feel depressed? Many people lost their jobs and they need to look for a job. You don't have to take it personally. It happens. Okay? That's called being an adult. We find a job, we work, and we lose it. That's part of professional careers. Why should you let that make you depressed? That's normal. People have to look for jobs constantly. And if right now it's difficult to look for a job, so be it. Keep looking. And that's part of cultivation. Cultivation is that you keep going no matter how difficult it is. To feel depressed about the situation is not necessary. Of course it's difficult. And when after you get a job, it's also difficult. Now you have the more pressure and a lot more pressure. Right now, you have no responsibilities. Put your wife to work. Seize your opportunity. You see? That's what cultivation is about. You adapt to the circumstances and you don't ever sink into negative emotions. Why do you have to be depressed? It's not you. They convince you should be depressed. But you should not be depressed at all. It's just life. Professionals will lose their jobs. Whether you're CEO or COO, Sheryl Sandberg has been a COO for Facebook for a long, long time. She lost her jobs. She got pushed out. Steve Jobs got pushed out from Apple. He came back 10 years later, you see? Gloriously. Okay? So it happens. You roll with the punches, that's all. It's nothing to be depressed about. And life is about we try our best, that's all. That's all we have. Don't be so attached to results. All we have is try our best. That's it.
A lot. I really appreciate it.
Okay, it's commonplace. It's not just you. This is quite a common mistake that professionals make. Okay, I speak from experience. I lost my jobs too. I was depressed too. I lost my wife. I was depressed too. I mean, geez, there's plenty of fishes in the ocean. Excuse me. You know, it's such a common thing. And it's normal to feel depressed. And that's why one thing you can do is speak out, speak up and say, hey, this is how I feel. Whereas us Asians, we try to deny it. We pretend. You say, I'm tough. I'm not depressed. Okay? And you sink deeper. They sink deeper, that's all. Okay? Speak up, and it helps you become more humble. Okay? We all have our moments of weaknesses. We all have our vulnerabilities. It's okay. It's okay to share them. Don't be afraid. Okay? You cannot be strong unless you're vulnerable. Believe it or not. Wei Mountain.
Master, follow-up question. So does that mean Daniel needs to take care of the depressing goals in order for him to increase in samadhi or to maybe take refuge with triple jewel? Is possible for him?
It means that my hand's off. It's a Catholic issue. I would not I would not venture into no man's land where you agree to go along with me until you disagree. Then when that's what your original plan is, then I will not touch you. You understand? It's a waste of my time. Because you don't understand. It's like fighting a war. Dealing with depression is like fighting with a war. You don't understand. It's not as simple as, take a medication, you'll be over and done with. No, you have to make moves. You have to position the army, fighting one battle after another, after another, after another. It's not that simple. You don't understand enough. And that's why you're helpless. You're helpless because you don't know what to do. You don't know how difficult it is to deal with it. It's just like, I'm depressed, make it disappear. Yes, it can be done, but I told you, I make it disappear from you. Where is it gonna go? Your mother, your daughter, your wife. You want that. Okay, we stop here today. Thank you, everyone.